Short story. Seeking a sense of peace. You know you've been led to a table in the annex, the closed-in veranda, because you are alone. It's not so bad, really. You prefer this to the dining room into which you can look back from an inner window beside your table. The outer windows allow a view of the grounds, the river, the uneven hill, a thicket beside 3 very old trees, the trunks of which you'd never be able to wrap your arms around. There are 2 men in the annex, each at a single table in this narrow veranda. Places have been discreetly set so that their backs are presented to you. You can only guess at their faces. This is fine with you. You've come here to be alone. The dining room is half filled, it's off-season, and from time to time you glance up from your meal to look back in through the open window. It's easy to overhear conversations because most of the occupants of the dining room are elderly and speak in loud voices. You, who are half their age, assume that hearing is a problem. By far the loudest of these is Bert, whose name you've been forced to learn. Bert not only has a hearing problem, he has misplaced his reading glasses. He glares across the room directly at you, as it turns out, while his wife reads aloud tonight's menu. You and everyone else in both annex and dining room must now listen to the naming of each item, followed by Bert shouting it back to his wife. Beef? Not beef. Sautéed veal? I don't like that. You know I hate Mexican shrimp? Yes. That's what I'll have. Pemmican shrimp. There is another couple at Bert's table, fellow travelers, the silent kind suffering. Probably from Bert's behavior. You know a suffering face when you see one. Your entire professional life so far has been spent with sufferers. You ban this thought from your head and pull a paperback from your shoulder bag, The Beginning of Spring, by Penelope Fitzgerald. You like this book because it's about a hearty Russian family and the unsealing of the windows in spring. All the dreary winter, the promise of unsealing the windows is held before an assortment of rowdy characters through a complicated series of entanglements. You hope that at the end of the story everyone, including you, will experience the thrusting open of heavy pane-soft glass in stifling rooms, that everyone will feel the rushing in of spring. Bert is now roaring at his wife. I don't see one thing funny about your joke. Not one thing. His face contorts in anger and he glares at his wife and then at you, because he sees you looking. He leaves his table and stomps out of the dining room. You tell yourself he's an old poot, you've emmit plenty, that you and everyone else will probably have to listen to him all week because you all have better manners than he does. You like your second-story room, though it's at the side of the lodge, a less-than-choice location. The water is visible only as flashes of blue through the trees. An oak presses against your window, its leaves are green and new and large, but they have a touch of red, too, as if they might deceive and turn into fall maples, instead. It's early June and you smell river. There is a weedy bank, a dock, an ancient smell you know well. It's the smell of underwater, of rock unturned, of fish and weed and riverbank all mingled together. You think of Louisa, who is the same age as your Zoe, 7. Louisa, off the tiny-boned face and the beautiful name. You approach slowly, though you have known Louisa for months. You sit next to her in a room at the Children's Aid. Louisa's pupils dilate, ready. You watch some part of her scurry inside herself. After a few moments, after listening to your voice, she lifts your hand and holds it between her own small palms as if she is the adult and you are the child. She lets your hand drop, nods her head wisely and says, I don't think I'll talk about that. She gets up from her chair and goes to the window. She seems to be humming behind closed lips. When she turns, her pupils are normal again. You think, okay, good. Otany, if imperceptible, gain. You think of the last holiday at the Children's Aid, the Valentine party. You and Becky are at the party with other staff members, to help, to observe, to supervise games. You marvel as you watch the girls, watch the 8-year-olds dress and act as if they're 16. Makeup, long flashy earrings, high heels, these are not dress-ups. The girls are spirited as they tap deliberate messages in spiked heels, as they stride across the wooden floor and make 2 frequent trips to the washroom. Becky, who knows what you're thinking, comes up behind you and says, "Who buys these shoes? Do the kids actually wear these to school?" You're both thinking, yes, they probably do. The girls show off. They're in competition for attention from their caseworkers, from you, from Becky, from the boys. Louisa is at this party. She sticks to your side most of the time. You've told Becky, a long time ago, months ago, this child is old. An extra is needed for a team game, and Louisa's name is called. Her head goes down bluntly. Her eyes film. An older girl, older? She might Benin instead of 7, calls out protectively, "Leave Louisa out, her father did gross touches to her. She doesn't feel like playing yet." The others, boys and girls alike, nod, knowing what that means. Nothing could have stopped the remark, no one could have pulled it back. It's the language these ancient abused children live and know. When the party food is served, Louisa joins the others, laughing, reaching past shoulders and heads. Everyone is a little greedy, a little grabby. For a few minutes, over pink frosting and ice cream, you are fooled into believing that they could be a group of normal kids. Zoe comes home from her grade 2 class, walks in the back door and sets down her school bag. "Today we learned sex," she announces. "The teacher read the same book we have at home. The school nurse was there too. We learned how babies are made. Did you now?" you say, and grab her close for a hug. Zoe pulls back so she can watch your face. "You know that time you and Dad made me," she says, "when he had to put his penis in you? Well, when he put it inside you, did he burst out laughing? You and Alec clutch each other in laughter over that. Behind your closed bedroom door." Later, several weeks later, Zoe tells you, again she waits, until the two of you are alone, "I'm never going to let any man put his thing in me." She looks really miffed at the idea. There's no answer to that. You safely decide every day. You walk farther and farther from the lodge. You've met the dogs on the farms, and when you're in the woods you're not afraid of bears. A humming sort of heat has descended, a profusion of dragonflies and bees, of poison ivy, thick along the edge of the dirt road. There are strawberry plants and even honeysuckle, which you've not seen for a long time. You are as silent as you hope to be. You think of Alec. Now that you are away, you can't keep yourself from tallying up. You know that the two of you can live together for months, asking nothing except that each is there for the other. It's as if you truly believe that marriage, life, is that simple. Then, some urgent need for discord rears itself, gnaws up the side of you, takes form in the shape of impatience, irritation, anger. High tide and low, Alec always wants to wait things out. As if time is on his side, as if you both have all the time in the world. You admit this to yourself, want to delve to the heart, you want to identify the problem. But just as quickly as it has dissolved, peace reasserts itself. Fingers reach across a desert sheet. Ackled toe brushes against a bare leg. You are learning, and so is Alec. In your separate system of beliefs, you are learning to leave alone what must be left alone, that debris will always be present, waterlogged beneath the surface. Louisa says she would like to move into your house and live with you. You cannot adopt her, bring her into your circle of safety, though you would if you could. Louisa has a home, whatever it might be. Louisa's mother watched Louisa's father when he did gross touches. She was forced to. Some part of Louisa doesn't know this. Now, Louisa's father is not allowed to be in or near the apartment building where Louisa and her mother live. Louisa tells you that he will be arrested if he puts a toe on the grass in front of the building. You continue to see Louisa twice a week, but that is all you can do. You enter the dining room. Bert is waiting. He sees that you are carrying a book, a different one this time. He shouts out as you cross the room to get to the annex. What does she come here for? To read? You stick in Bert's scrawl like the bone in the wolf's throat. No one at his table can explain you. Why don't you ask her why she comes here, says Bert's wife. But he does not. Instead, he complains loudly and bitterly throughout the meal. You ask yourself if the men of his generation were born angry. Becky has a theory that entire generations of men have been brought up to believe it's their divine right to be listened to. She's put in her years, she says, of listening to opinionated men. Once a month, you and Becky go out for dinner after work. One night, in a Vietnamese restaurant, behind a paper screen, she tells you about her first husband, Dirk. Dirk comes home drunk one night, 2:30 in the morning, and chases her out of their bed, out the back door, past the blackberry bushes and around the outside of the house, trying to have sex with her. I know my rights, he shouts as Hetches. He is running with a hard-on, Becky says. I know my rights, he calls after her. It's easy to get away from him, because he's drunk. Eventually Dirk falls down on the grass and goes to sleep right there. It is not long after that, Becky says, that she leaves him. Becky is married now to a man named William, a soft-spoken gentleman. You wonder if William has anger in him. If so, you've never seen a sign of it. You wonder if William knows the story of Dirk shouting, I know me rights. It's a story that causes you and Becky to collapse in laughter whenever either of you mentions it. Although you both know that the story isn't really funny, you have one more night at the lodge. You've read a book every day, and you feel as if you've walked hundreds of miles. You've sat motionless on the dock and watched small dark fish, lurking in the weeds. Every evening from your room, you listen for the loons. You phone Alec. You talk to him and Zoe and tell them you'll be home after lunch the next day. Alec says he's glad you're ready to come back. Zoe tells you that a new boy has joined her French class, even though it's nearly the end of the school year. The girls chase him during morning break and try to tag him. She does not, she says, because she thinks they're silly. You hang up the receiver and think about all the parts of your life. You tell yourself that you have to believe they come together to make one life your life. The one you live every day. You insist that this is possible, that all the parts of your life can add up to one special meal tonight. Most of the guests will be leaving tomorrow, end of the week. There is an air of excitement in the dining room. Bert's cheeks are flushed. He seems outraged as you enter. You are going to escape, having provided no explanation to him. Here she is. He yells to his wife. Why she would come to a place like this alone is beyond me. You stare eye to eye, from the annex window. Is there something you should do? Something you should say? Bert is rising from his chair. He has finally worked himself up to some action. I'll find out about her, he tells the others at his table. He stumps across the room, stands 10 paces back, opens his mouth to shout. You touch your ears, you touch your lips. Are you deaf? Are you mute? Are you neither of these? You smile as you turn away. Your head is framed by the open window. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave your comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.